Hello everyone, hope you are doing good. In today's video, I'm happy to introduce this topic called Multibagger series, in which the first company I'm going to talk about is Pudumjee Papers. Pudumjee Paper, it's a company which I identified an year ago as a multibagger with some logics and strategies around it. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain those strategies which I thought would be beneficial for my subscribers to pick what are all the points, you know, from a live example one can consider to identify a multibagger. Let's go. So, firstly, a small cap company like Pudumjee Paper is not known to many of the people, and including me some time back. So, how do you identify such companies first? So, most of the people use the simple screener search where they search companies based on some uh, entry criterias like the companies with low PE, companies with less valuation, say like current values less than the book value or intrinsic value. So something like that. I also use some criteria, not exactly the same you are seeing on the screen, something similar to that. I used that and searched and came up with a list of stocks, and I just went to each and every individual stock and analyze their fundamentals. So in that process, I eliminated one by one. And when I came to Padamji paper, that is when I found that the numbers looked interesting. Let me explain you what are they. First thing is the stock PE is trading very less. It's 10. It's a first sign of being an undervalued stock. And the ROCE is good, about 25. ROE is about 20. And look at the debt. It's almost equal to zero. So it's a no debt company. So the basic fundamentals was looking good. Then I jumped back to the valuation. So valuation, when I was looking at this company, the company was trading at 42 rupees and the intrinsic value was almost like 80 or 90. So yeah, so I thought like, if everything goes well with this company, uh, it could double in some time soon, right? So then I went further and looked at the profit and loss. So if you look at the profit and loss statement, the key thing I noticed was like for the consistent 6 years, the profit has been increasing for the company, and this is a very rare sign. Even very best and best of companies, you don't see the profit increasing year on year. So there will be a dull year at any point of time. But that is not the case with Padamji. So the profit was increasing, the sales was increasing year on year. So that gave me a very positive sign. Then when I was looking at this company in 2023, um, I was also looking at the quarterly performance. So basically on a low level, how it's performing. So that also kind of convinced me, like, it is giving us some increased profit quarter on quarter and consistently maintaining that number. So that consistency is what kind of driven me to convince that okay, numbers wise, this company is looking good. And let's look at other fundamental parameters. So if you look at their reserves again, consistently see from 2016, their reserve cash has been increasing and from 195 crores to 483 crores, which is a big plus. Cash flow was good. uh, Other parameters, looks to be improving. Then I come to the shareholding pattern, which I'll talk at the end. So overall, the numbers wise, it looked good to me. So a company which we have identified with undervaluation, and again convinced that their growth progress as well as the fundamentals are very strong. So what is next? So now we have identified that the company is fundamentally stronger, growth and profit wise consistent. Is that good enough? No, because for the growth to continue, right, the base should be good. A company which is giving profit for continuous 5 years, it doesn't guarantee that even in the upcoming years also it's going to be profitable, and we never know how long this is going to continue. So for that to happen, the base has to be good. So what is the base? The base is the key thing, which is nothing but the business model and the business itself. Because we are not buying the numbers itself, we are buying the business end of the day. So let's look at what is this business all about. So Pudumjee Paper started in 2015, is into specialty paper segment. They are into packaging papers, household and sanitary papers. Let's look at different types of paper they are producing. So it's into tissues and towels, decorations, food, pharma wrappers, and specialities, security, and printing grades. So I had posted earlier a video about other paper company which was mostly into the printing grade. Rather, in Padamji, there is a very good amount of diversification, and they are strategically focusing on specialty papers and packaging. And this sounded very interesting to me because it's a very simple logic, right? Like the number of Swiggy and Zomato orders or any e-commerce orders, right? So this packaging industry, the paper packaging is growing a lot, at least in India. So that is something no one can deny, right? So I kind of felt like, the demand for specialty papers is going to be more. There is another reason, right? The people who are converting from uh, lower class to middle to upper classes. So they all kind of, started using more of tissues and packaging wrappers, etc. So I kind of felt that culturally in India, we are kind of inclining towards the usage of these packaging papers, tissues, napkins, and all these stuffs, which is basically the specialty papers. So that kind of convinced me that the business is good on a very higher level. So this is my first take on the business. Now let's see if I have any more evidence or any more logic from the company's management meetings and annual report discussions to see if my first take or first impression is correct. Now let's look at the management notes and see what the management says about the company and their strategy. Firstly, paper is a highly recyclable product, okay, and that gives an opportunity for innovation and growth. That is from a sector perspective. Secondly, the consumption of specialty paper is forecasted to be increasing at 2.1%. That is for the next 5 years. Okay, so that is another positive news. Then let's see the strategy what the chairman reveals. Uh, it could be the reason for their consistent growth or probably the consistency they are going to show in the future. The first point is the company is focusing on the niche segment that is nothing but the packaging, right? And next, in that packaging itself, they are focusing majorly on the hygiene area, okay? That is around food, health, and also consumer products. So this is very clear and interesting as a strategy. Then obviously, they are also trying to uh, get more output by servicing a large number of orders with smaller production runs. That is from a productivity perspective. Then um, company increased the service component of its solution based delivery. Then the company continued to leverage the power of the cash on its books to produce quality pulp from dependable global sources. Okay, so the company focusing on niche area and also focusing morely on the hygiene segment, and around that strategy, they are kind of developing their products. So that sounds interesting. Okay, what is the outlook looks like for the upcoming years? So look at this point for the global specialty paper industry overview. So this market is forecast to increase by US dollar of 13.59 billion for the next 5 years. Again, this is a positive sign. And for the Indian market, our market is currently at 12.87 billion in 2024 and expected to reach 17.74 billion US dollar by the year 2029. So both globally and also in our country, we have some good growth prospect for this sector for the next 5 to 6 years at least. Now look at this point. Here it talks about India's urbanization. So that is what I was trying to say. The more the people are trying to use the napkins and packaging papers, etc., because urbanization gives an opportunity for that. So we are expecting to double the urban population between the year 2018 and 2050. So it means another 25 years, and that in turn gives an opportunity for this specialty paper segment. So this company, or the scope for this company to be productive, is at least good for next 25 years, right? So the strategies, the growth drivers, the plan, the outlook, the future numbers, so whatever the management has provided in their report, that looked promising for me. So that is what kind of convinced me to kind of decide that this company could be a multi-bagger. Now we have come to the final part of the video. So the company is fundamentally good, growth wise good, it has a very good business model. Is it that simple to find a company, invest the money, and double or triple in some time? No, it's not that easy, because consistently growing the stock price is driven by a lot of external factors. So if at all money making is that easy, obviously everyone in the world should be doing it. So it's very important to consider the risk factor as well. Probably in our journey, we might identify a lot of multibaggers like this. But does everything turn out to be a multibagger? That's a question. Along with Pudumjee, there were few other companies I identified, but they are nowhere near to even a 10% return by now. So it's not always the same, right? So there are a lot of factors to be considered, and especially in such small cap companies, any one bad news comes, people start withdrawing money significantly. So the price falls very drastically, right? So one always has to use their due diligence and common sense while investing. And most importantly, you have to take the risk based approach. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to kind of convey how I identified this company and convinced that this could potentially become a multi-bagger. Yeah, I think it has already given a 2 or 3 times returns, and it's gonna give more or not, time to tell. But yes, I just wanted to strategically convey some of the points to the viewers uh, on how to identify a potential multi-bagger. Okay, so hope you find this video informative and helpful. If you do so, please like, support, and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.